Well, we are so glad to welcome back Shannon, who agreed to join us once again today. We're going to talk about the ways that moms pass on family culture and the bishop's document titled Open Wide Our Hearts. Shannon, thanks so much for being with us. Good to talk to you again.
Great to see you again, Jay. Kevin, nice to see you.
I feel like I just saw you.
True.
Shannon, you're a mom of 4 kids, all under the age, I think, of 11. Tell us, Kevin just said, wow. Yeah, that's a wow. Tell us how you are able to share the cultures of both your families and your husbands.
Yeah, absolutely. So my husband is Italian and German. I'm Irish, and my dad is Black American. And so we've got a lot of cultures going on in our house. And one of the ways that we do that is by sharing our favorite music and foods and literature and all those things. And we make really intentional decisions about how we do that. But also along with that, one of the best ways we can do that is through our Catholic faith. So, for example, my husband's family always celebrates St. Nicholas Day on December 6th. We put out the shoes, we do the oranges and everything, and we have a big Italian feast. And then, March 17th, we're definitely wearing our green. We're marching down for the parade. I grew up in Chicago, so we'd go to the Southside Irish Parade and eating the soda bread and all of that. So, we bring our faith into our culture, and we bring our culture into our faith. And that's been a wonderful way that we can share kind of what's universal about who we are as parents and what we believe, but also to share the different things that we love about being who we are and the different cultures that we come from. So it's great.
And Shannon, you worked with Catholics United for Black Lives. You've presented on the topic of racism. Tell us a little bit about the bishop's document, Open Wide Our Hearts, and what do you think people would be most surprised about to hear in that document?
Oh, I mean, there's so much that's great in there. I think there's probably 2 things that would be surprising to people. First, the bishops say that racism is a life issue. So, as Catholics, obviously, we're pro-life for the whole life. So we think of things like abortion, euthanasia, and they're saying that racism, which prevents the flourishing of human life, is on that same level, that we have to address racism just as we would any of those other attacks against life. And that really, when we do anti-racism work, we are building a culture of life. We are bringing Christ and the gospel to our culture, which is wonderful. And then the other thing I think it's kind of surprising, I was even surprised to read it, is that the bishops talk about racism as an institutional sin. Sometimes we call that structural or systemic sin. That it's not just a personal thing, but it's, these personal choices that people made to oppress other people have sort of been built into our laws. They've been codified into our economic system, our education system, and all of these things. And so, not that it can't be overcome, not that everything about our country is terrible, but rather that we have to work to root out the ways that sin has kind of made its way into our institutions to make it a better place and to make, again, this world reflect more of who Christ is.
And you work at a parish. Before I ask the next question, I guess I'm going to ask a question before anyways. What do you do with the parish? Why don't you tell us what you do with the parish?
Sure. I'm a pastoral associate, so I work primarily with adults in adult formation and education. I work with our RCIA group, so bringing new Christians into the church and new Catholics from other denominations. And and duties as assigned by the pastor. That's in every contract I've ever signed. So whatever the pastor decides for the day, I'm going to do. And I love my pastor. He's amazing.
That's a real potpourri of stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, in your work at the parish, how important is it to recognize the cultures within your community and that there are many different people who make up the body of the church?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really essential to living out our true vocation as the church. God has called each of us from various ethnicities, various cultures, various cities and states, and we all have our own cultures. And our cultures really enrich the church. They help us understand better the mystery of Christ, of who God is, from different points of view. I worked at a parish once that had a very large Mexican population. Of course, they love Our Lady of Guadalupe. And we would have the celebrations every year, starting at 4 a.m. And I learned so much about Mary that I didn't even think about coming from, my Irish heritage, my German heritage, my Black heritage, all of that. I learned so much about her and so much joy in celebrating who Our Lady is and understanding the way that Christ draws us to himself through Our Lady. And so when we bring all of our cultures together, we not only affirm each other, but we start to understand what it means, as Pope Francis says, to have unity and diversity and to see the world as God sees it in this beautiful multiplicity of people in different shapes, sizes, skin colors, whatever that is. And he's created us that way. So why shouldn't we enjoy what he's created us to be and bring that to worship? Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes as just people, we're afraid of anyone who is different than us. Should we look at it, though, as a great gift to ourselves to open our hearts up and learn more?
Absolutely. It's something that can only enrich our own individual development and our own faith. And also, it's a way that we can better demonstrate what it means to be Christians and to have true charity, true love for Christ. That as we learn more about other people, as we work to overcome our biases, as we work to